Today is day 77 of the year of streaming and learning to code. I am currently 37% of the way through JavaScript. You know what's fun? It's day 77, and this is 37, so that's 3, 7. Get it? Here's a 3, and then there's that 7, and then the 2 set, so 3, 7. No? Crazy person's choice? Two Rain Manny? It's okay. It's okay. Numbers are fun. Numbers are fun. Onwards. I believe, yeah. While loops. Go time. What is that, section 4? Section 4. So when we conquer this, we will be halfway through. Although I'm not sure if I'm going to get through both. We've got Introduction to While Loops, and then Dragon Slayer. That sounds fun. I don't want to do that. And I think there's only 13 in the introduction for while loops. But I can't think of any reason not to just dive right into it, so let's do this. Let's go. Please load slowly. Alright, we've got not 13, only 11. Even better. We definitely might get to a dragon nonsense. Although we'll see where we stand for time. Okay. While we're at it. Get it? Because it's while loops? Funny. Laugh, damn it. While we're at it. Great work with for loops. As a reminder, for loop syntax looks like this. For variable I equals start, I less than end, I plus plus, do something. The counter variable I starts at start and stops looping when it reaches end. But what if you didn't know ahead of time when to stop looping? Say, for example, you wanted to keep looping. No, just kidding. That was a lie. That was a lie. Do-over. Say, for example, you wanted to keep choosing playing cards from a deck until you get a spade. You don't know how many cards you need to choose. So a for loop won't work. In situations like these, where you don't know in advance when to stop looping, we can use a while loop. Instructions. Check out the while loop in the editor. Can you guess what it'll do? Hit save and submit code. When you think you know. The answer is in the hint. Don't worry about the math.floor bit. For now, we'll explain it soon. Since they're revealing all the answers to life in the hint section, we're going to hold off on opening that for now while we gauge what's going down here in the while loop. We've got variable, coin face equals math.floor, math.random, empty parentheses, times 2. While coin face equals 0, console log, heads, flipping again. Variable, coin face, math.floor, math.random, empty parentheses again, times 2. Console log, tails, done flipping. So it's going to keep flipping. Hey, Topher. Saturday. How cool is that? Hopefully your Saturday's going well. Now, we were zeroing in. We're on section 1 of 11. We just dove into lesson 4, while loops. All right. And before we jump to section 2, we were just trying to figure out, anticipate how this might play out per their instructions. Guess and then pull the trigger. Alright, so we made our way through math.nonsense. So lastly, console log tails done flipping. So I take it that it's going to keep cycling through and keep flipping until we end on a tails. Right? Hopefully, fingers crossed. Heads, flip again, tails done flipping. Who called it? Let's close that. Let's do it once more. See, it changed. Heads once, tails. Let's keep going till we get tails on the first try. You know what? I don't know. I think the way it's actually written, I don't know if it will give tails on the first try. It does. It does. Look at that. I wasn't sure because I saw heads flipping again. If it always had to start with the heads flip. But apparently not. Good to know. Very cool. So we got tails on the first try. Beautiful. Onwards. While syntax. The while loop is ideal when you want to use a loop, but you don't know how many times you'll have to execute that loop. In the example you just saw, the computer was randomly flipping a coin. While the coin came up heads, when coin face equals 0, it would flip again, and it would stop flipping once it got tails when coin face was 1. Since the flip was random, we didn't know ahead of time how many loops we needed. The syntax looks like this. While, condition, blah, right? Beautiful. As long as the condition evaluates to true, the loop will continue to run. As soon as it's false, it'll stop. When you use a number in a condition, as we did earlier, JavaScript understands 1 to mean true, 0 to mean false. Since you've already mastered for loops, this similar syntax should be a breeze for you. Instructions. Try it yourself. Complete the while loop in the editor so it will print out I'm learning while loops. Do this by adding the condition between the parentheses. Don't change line 5. Line 5, no change. Do this by adding the condition between the parentheses. Don't change line 5 or you could get an infinite loop. Okay, so all we're doing is this. While something. Try it yourself, complete the while loop in the editor so it will print out I'm learning while loops. Variable understand equals true. While blankety blank, oh god, console log, I'm learning while loops understand false. I want to do either true or 1. Or just put in understand. Let's see what happens when I put in understand. Seems kind of ironic because I'm pretty friggin' confused right now and uncertain. Like the last go around with for loops, much better understanding of for loops last time than I did going through the learn JavaScript section. And I know while loops are similar, but I am just confused and uncertain as all get out. Holy shit, it worked. Okay. So variable understand equals true. While understand equals true, it will run this block. When understand equals false, it dies. If we didn't have this, so it runs the block of code between the curly braces, line by line, it runs this, and then understand converts from true to false on line 5, killing the while loop. I think I got it. I think that's what just happened. I'm learning while loops. False. That feels like an accurate statement. Okay. 3 of 11. So far, so good. We're 2 for 2 getting it on the first try. That's pretty damn impressive as far as my track record goes. A fellow... Seriously? A fellow? A fellow of infinite loops? Strange. A fellow of infinite loops. Great work. We mentioned infinite loops in the previous exercise. If you give a while loop a condition that's true and you don't build in a way for that condition to possibly become false, the loop will go on forever and your program will crash. No good. To prevent this from happening, you always need a way to ensure the condition between your while parentheses can change. You'll see the same code from the last exercise in the editor to the right, only we've taken out the part that changes the loop's condition. Aha! See? The understand equals false, so we did read it correctly. Instructions. Don't run the code the way it is. You'll have to reload the window to stop the infinite loop. Instead, change the value of understand to something other than true, such as false, on line 6, so the loop will exit. This is the same nonsense. Look, they don't have variable again. Huh? Remember, was it yesterday or maybe 2 days ago now? I don't remember. There was some activity. Oh, it was text. It was text in the name search. They had text equals and then a whole wall of blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah with the name, and then more blahs, and then the name again. They didn't name it as a variable, or they didn't have variable in front. It was just the thing equals meh. So I wonder if I have to do the same thing. So would I not do variable? I wouldn't do that. I think I would just do understand equals false. I don't like that, but that's what we're gonna do. I don't like the lack of var, the lack of variable. Okay, so understand false. Change the value here. It's going down. I remember someone saying the course on Udemy JavaScript, the weird parts, was good, so I paid the $15 for it and went through the 85 video lessons. It's one of the best deep dives into JavaScript I've seen. Highly recommended. Well, hell yeah, 80 or 15 bucks for 85 videos. Hell yeah. That's awesome. I think that's cheaper than whatever it is to go pro. I think the cheapest Codecademy one's like 20 bucks a month or something like that, and it's still just more Codecademy, right? So a one-time 15 bucks for 85 videos. I'll add that to my to-do list. I've got Codecademy, Free Code Camp. I'll need to look at more into Code Wars. That's probably more of activity-based stuff instead of class things to do or courses. Free Code Academy, Khan Academy, which I've seen. It's not that it's bad. I don't think they have a lot of coding content. Although I was on the app. Normally $300, but on sale now for 15 bucks. This was 95% off or something like that. Holy hell. Jeez. Interesting. Huh. Okay, that's moved to my top of the list of things to look at after the stream. Snapshot chat. Ta-da! Beautiful. Okay, good. Udemy, here we come. But before that, section 3. Onwards, right? Noted. Understand equals false. We mentioned infinite loops in the previous exercise. If you give a while loop condition true, don't run the code the way it is. You'll have to reload the window, change the value of understand to something other than true, such as false on line 6. Cool. If you've ever submit your JavaScript code and the browser freezes, you may have written an infinite loop. Refresh the page, check your code if it happens again. Beautiful. So we're just going to pull the trigger because this is good. I'm learning while loops. False. Beep-a-dee, beep-beep-beep. 4 of 11. Brevity is the soul of programming. You may have noticed that when we give a variable the Boolean value true, we check that variable directly. We don't bother with equals equals equals. For instance, variable bool equals true, while bool do something. is the same thing as variable bool equals true, while bool equals true. Do something. Gotcha. So they just shove it on in there. But the first one is faster to type. Get in the habit of typing exactly as much as you need to and no more. Look at this, look at this. See? Variables back again. The last one they just had bool, or they had just understand crammed in there. And then they didn't, they're saying that. Although we are probably clearing out that stuff now. We might be jumping ahead. So let's look at what they have to say. If you happen to be using numbers, as we did, you could even do variable my number equals 1 while my number do something. We've written the less succinct version in the editor. Correct it to the more elegant version. Your condition should only be blankety blank. Yes, agreed. But they're confusing me with the whole variable thing on whether variable should be there or not, so that, right? We'll keep bool. We'll destroy true. And this is basically what it looked like last time. And if they're going to give me the green check marks, if they're willing to reward shitty behavior and syntax, then we're going to continue down that path. Not that we want to, we just don't know any better. Practice makes perfect. Okay. This is also why we're going to check. I want to see multiple tutorial, sites and courses. That's why I want to do things like Free Code Camp as well, and also check codecademy. Because a lot of this stuff, especially for something like codecademy or codecademy, they'll be going over the basics, and I want to see what different sites have to say, the commonalities between the basics. That way I can establish sort of those industry standard guidelines that they aren't necessarily taking the time to describe here. Variable should always be there when first declaring a variable. Aha, on the first declaration of said variable. Noted. I'm going to go back to then. I'm going to fix their mistake, because they just threw understand in there like it was a common streetwalker. Variable. Fixing Codecademy's work for them. Can't believe this. Alright. And then we'll throw variable back on for bool. I was the one to get rid of that. It won't throw an error if you don't, however it can create issues if you don't in some cases. Rather be safer than sorry, right? Always prepare for the worst. Okay. Practice makes perfect. Okay. Time for you to create a while loop from scratch. We've set up a function, loop, for you to write your while loop in, as well as created the empty loop. Remember to set up the condition you're checking outside the loop. If you do it in the loop, it will keep resetting and the loop could go on forever. Write a while loop that logs I'm looping to the console 3 times. You can do this however you like, but not with 3 console log calls. Check the hint if you need help. Remember to set your condition outside the loop. So we're going to have our friend variable blah equals something or other, potentially in strings, potentially not. Death by semicolon. Variable loop function in the while loop. Something, something, something. Loop this. We're going to have a console log. I wonder if I'm supposed to get rid of their comment. Probably. We're going to have a console log of sorts. with whatever phrase they want, and then the said variable, something, 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 will be false. All lies. Lies. Good, good. Now, let's piece this nightmare together. We'll go ahead and crack open hint. Hey, they got lots of info in here. Okay. We actually know we need to loop 3 times, so we could use a for loop, but we'll use a while loop this time. If we create a variable called count, set it to 0 outside of the loop on line 2, and do count plus plus each time, we console log inside the loop, we'll be able to track how many times how many loops we've made. If we set the while condition to count less than 3, that should do the trick. So count less than 3, because it's index 0, so it would still do 0, 1, 2, spitting out 3, I think. Maybe I'm reading too much into the count. But regardless, the variable loop function, this bit's throwing me off. Wow, something. So we're gonna have count equals 0. Variable loop function blah. Well, this is true. Or well, this thing. Yeah, while that occurs, the while loop occurs. Let's take I'm looping, just keep the ball rolling. I'm looping. Count. It will keep going while it's less than 3. Count less than 3. Oh, that's a comma. That is a stray comma. Count equals 4. Most of this seems okay. Loop function. Wow, blankety blank. Oh, function, and then would it be count plus plus? That's what we're telling it to do? We're telling it to do count plus plus. It will continue to add, I think, count plus plus. This little bit, though. Loop count? Loop. We're doomed. That's what it is. We're just confused. Topher. This is creating an anonymous function and assigning it to the loop variable. It's nearly the same as function loop, named function statement versus anonymous function expression. Okay. So it's just a very generically named function. Count plus plus increments count by 1 and should be done at the end of the while loop. Oh, interesting. I thought I was telling it how to go through, but the end of the while loop. Let's destroy this. Well then, we would just do count plus plus, because it will continue. Oh god, no. One of these keys will paste it. Ta-da, we found it. So many keys to choose from. So this will continue to increase it, and it will only run while it's less than 3. Loop count Or is it actually going to spit out how many times? Loop. That is the loop function. Count. Console log count. The function has no name. Loop is a variable that references the function's location in memory. I think I should give it a different name. Because just seeing it as a loop, I think is... It's like Arya Stark. A function has no name. Jesus. Arya Stark. Okay. I'm gonna pull the trigger. There was a problem with your syntax. Cause the problem isn't with the syntax, it's with me. Damn. Yeah, no, I still... Game of Thrones is on my to-do list. It's on my Netflix to-do list. I am behind the curve. Deeply. We have loop, so I don't want to change... Death. Write a while loop that logs I'm looping. Console 3 times. You can do this however you like. Not with 3 console log calls. Check the hint. We know we could use the loop 3 times, so we could use a for loop, but we'll use a while loop this time. If we create a variable called count, set it to 0 outside the loop on line 2. Then do count ++ each time we console log. Inside the loop, we'll be able to track how many loops we've made. If we set while condition to be count less than 3, it should do the trick. Maybe the function needs to be count and then count ++ for while? That doesn't seem right. It seems like a lie. Oh, hold on. You're right. Line 7 needs a semicolon, and line 6 needs an ending quote to close your string. So does that mean conceptually it's okay? It is conceptually okay. It was just a syntax issue. Wow. You know, if I ruled this country, I'd say cut off a finger for every missing semicolon. Or for every syntax issue. I would be currently down 2 fingers. I mean, in total of the 77 days, I would have lost all my fingers probably halfway through the first day. So, you know, maybe we can find a new way to keep people on track, but... Fresh start from today, though, that would have been 2 fingers lost. Fascinating. Okay, so it's not... I am good at overthinking. And, yeah, I was very concerned. So it turns out I was less confused than I thought I was. Actually, I don't know if I was confused, but about the wrong things. I was confused about things that didn't matter. Which is, my strong suit. Okay. Solo flight. Great work. Let's try another. This time, no help at all. Good. Well, some help. Check the hint if you get stuck. Instructions. Inside the solo loop function, write a while loop that takes an initial condition that's true your loop should log looped once to the console, then change that initial condition to false. Already lost interest in the instructions. We're going to have to reread that. Make sure to set your condition to false in the body of the loop, otherwise you'll loop forever. Gotcha. Infinite loops, bad shoo, right? Bad times. Remember to make your condition true outside the loop. Here we go. Here we go. Variable solo loop equals function blah. Your code goes here, and we're gonna shove a while loop right in there. While parentheses. And we're probably gonna have a console log of sorts. Console log. There's this, and probably some other thing to make the condition false. More than likely. Now, inside the solo loop function, write a while loop that takes an initial condition that's true, something that's true, something true of sorts. Your loop should log all quotes necessary looped once. Nice. The console log, then change that initial condition to false. Make sure to set your condition to false in the body of your loop, otherwise you'll loop forever. They've got their wall condition, they have their variable. Yes, I know we need to set up a variable here, variable something or other, but that's the easiest part. So variable something, console log looped, yes, and then the false version. Okay, well this is going to be great. Variable. Remember your good... Topher, remember your good friend Brian yesterday? What the fuck is that about? Right? I was so confused. I don't have much to say about that, but yes, that was rather puzzling. Still another viewer though, you know, catering to a very small audience here. Taking almost anyone we can get. Not sure we need quite that level of confusion, but yeah, good times. All right, so we've got our solo loop, which means variable equals Han. Not solo. Hold on. Good. Not Hansberg. Too many S's. Okay. Clearing the text. Back to reality. So. And just kidding. Wrong space. Variable. Han equals true. Does that need to be capital? Is it like lowercase or capital? It likes lowercase. I always forget that. And then we come down here. Han equals false. See, solo. Get it? That your first troll. Have you had a troll in the chat like that before? That was your first troll. I think that was the first vocal troll. I may have had others. I may have just not noticed. But This is definitely the first noticeable incident. I'm getting good. Nice. Chat. Text. Damn. Hold on. Syntax issue. I think it's this stray semicolon. Oh, the wall. Just kidding. We forgot that. While Han. Put the semicolon back. Fire away. D looped once. Check your while loop before running. Oh, yes, the line 5. Yeah, which we caught. Good. Nice. Mid-lesson breather. But yes, no, but yeah, I definitely think Brian was the first noticeable troll. One for the record books. Mid-lesson breather. Great work so far. You've learned what while loops are, while loop syntax, how to avoid infinite loops. Next up, we'll cover the do while loop. When used... No. Next up, we'll cover the do while loop. When to use while loop, and when to use for, and then put it all together in a loop the loop review. Sounds awful. You don't need the semicolon at the end of the while loop. Noted. We're going to go back to that. Jumping from 8, that was 7. Solo flight. That's what it was. D. So we don't need the semicolon there for the while loop. Beautiful. On solo looped once. Mid-lesson breather. Success. Lesson 8. 8 of 11. When to while and when to for. As we mentioned, for loops are great for doing the same task over and over. When you know ahead of time how many times you'll have to repeat the loop, on the other hand, while loops are ideal when you have to loop, but you don't know ahead of time how many times you'll need to loop, okay? As you saw, however, you can combine a while loop with a counter variable to do the same kind of work a for loop does. In these cases, it's often a matter of preference. Instructions. Write 2 loops in the editor. 1 while, 1 for. No restrictions on this one. Just make sure your loops are syntactically correct. Be careful to avoid infinite loops. Lovely. Some reminder stuff. Okay, so we've got our for loop. And it does something. Console log. Why does that look so hideous? Console log. We've got a variable I starts off somewhere. I is less than something. And I increments, I don't know, for shits and giggles, one at a time. I don't know if we're going to have more underneath. We may just keep it basic, but that's going to be our for loop for now. You'll probably need to set up a variable though. And then we'll have our while loop. Wow, along the same lines. Although in this instance, we probably will need a semicolon after that. Console log something. It could either be a counting, incrementing, or equals false. We'll figure that out later. Right? We'll cross that bridge soon. So variable. Oh, and we need Kyle. Wait. Okay, no, that was the same. Don't need a semicolon after the while loops for section 6, something like that. But that's because it was within something. I'd assume that there'd be a semicolon after that for now. So onwards. Variable life. What do we want to do? We want variable. Hell, do we just make it I? Variable I equals I 0 true. Do we keep it basic and just leave it at true? I feel like it's a little on the nose. We'll take a look at their hint section. Remember your syntax. While loops look like this. While condition, blah, do something while the condition is true. For loops look like this. Start and increment, do something. Got that. Lovely. They don't have semicolons for theirs. Fascinating. Fascinating. For example, you might have a for loop that looks like this. For variable I equals 1, I less than 11, plus, prints the number 10, console log I. We'll, yeah. I don't know, do we make it 0? Make it 1? No need for semicolons after for or while loops. The parser will ignore it. Cool. Okay. So there's that. We're going to log I. We're going to log I here. And while I, console log I, we'll do I++. Just gripping. This is what code that won't change the world looks like. Very basic. Very straightforward. And yeah, we'll just use their example. 11, 1. D. Actually, I'm drawing an I equals. Yeah, I equals 1. But here it's referring to it and index 0 versus here looking at it as the numeric value. At least I'm pretty sure that's what's going down. We're going to pull the trigger and see what happens. Stand clear. Everyone hit the decks. Yeah, we did something wrong. There's an infinite loop. Damn. We will reload the page. If we can. Oh, great. Following pages become unresponsive. You can wait for it to become responsive or kill it. We're gonna have to destroy this thing. Death? Damn! Back into Codecademy. I broke the internet, damn it. Alright. Resume. Hey, they fixed their friggin' resume button. Holy hell, finally. Only took 77 days for them to get to that. Oh, and instead of retyping all that noise, we're just gonna copy all that nonsense. We're gonna drop in the while loop. We're actually gonna steal their for loop. Because it was basically identical to ours. Now, what did they have that was different? They had variable. Well, that's all they had. Variable. I. Console log. I. Few issues. One, you're declaring the variable I twice. Once at the top of your for loop. Here, we'll move it back into position. That way I can better compare with your notes. Okay, so couple issues. We had I think it was, we'll get rid of this, but I equals 1, comma, slash. Okay. Few issues here. One, you're declaring the variable I twice. Once at the top and once in your for loop. Variable I equals blank. I will die here, increment I by that. So this is all inclusive within the for loop. Fascinating. That's kind of a self-sustaining thing, and it will log I, versus here I could do something different. I could do the Han scenario again. 2, your while loop has no end condition. It just checks to see if I has a value. Since it does, it never ends. So I should have I, or whatever the variable is, change. So let me take you to the for loop. The for loop can go to hell. And you can set up a new thing down here while X, or no, was X looked down upon? God, I'm drawing a blank on one of the very early ones. Is X a good variable? I know I is a good variable. I think X was looked down upon because it looks like multiplication. Was that the issue? So I and J were the preferred two? We'll stick with J for the second one. So, not while, but variable. Variable J equals true. And then we'll do J. And beneath that, J equals false. The variable I will not be contained to the for loop scope. The value of I will still be accessible after the for loop. Wait, whoa. The variable I will not be contained to the for loop scope. Okay. So it's not unique to just the for loop. Okay. The value of I will still be accessible after the for loop. Alright. Well, I don't know. I mean, should I be using the same, write two loops in the editor, one while, I just wasn't sure if I should be using the same variable I for both the same for, or for both loops, for and a while. I think we're gonna leave it like this for now. We'll see. And select all, copy, just for good measure. 1 through 10, greater than false. I feel like we could improve upon this somehow, though. For lack of a better word, it seems sterile comes to mind, but that's not quite right. I want to say gutless, and that hurts because I'm the crafter of said code, but kinda true, right? There's a lack of creativity. Also, we're missing the semicolon on false as well. You could use I outside the for loop, but it's not required and also considered bad practice. Yeah, I think this is as good as it gets for now. I mean, we got the green check mark, and we've remembered to put the semicolon second time around. Fortunately, the internet didn't blow up in my face again, so that works. That flies. Because we are nearing the end, but I think we can move on if we just knock this out to whatever the dragon activity is, Dragon Slayer. That sounded way more interesting. We're so close. The do/while loop. Sometimes you want to make sure your loops run at least one time no matter what. When this is the case, you want a modified while loop called a do/while loop. This loop says, hey, do this thing one time, then check the condition to see if we should keep looping. After that, it's just like a normal while loop. The loop continues so long as the condition being evaluated is true. Instructions: click Save and Submit Code to see the loop in action. It runs once because do tells it to, but then never again because the loop condition is false. Variable loop condition equals false. Do console log, I'm going to stop looping because my condition is space and comma plus loop condition plus exclamation. While loop condition. Interesting. I'm gonna stop looping because my condition is false. Loop condition equals false plus loop condition really is plus false and then exclamation. That's so clever. And then while, and that's false, and that's interesting, and they only run when they're true. It's like it all works together. That's fascinating. No, I bet companies would pay a lot of money to people who can figure this out and turn it into something productive. Just a hunch. I don't know. Shot in the dark. Someone should look into that. You know, I heard they have the internet on computers now. Here be dragons is a common comment you see in the code that is either poorly documented or confusing. My code's gonna be riddled with dragons then. That's for damn sure. At least till I get the hang of this. To learn it, you gotta do it. Your turn. Now that you've seen how do/while loops work, you can easily write your own. Check the hint if you need a syntax refresher. Your loop should print a string of your choice to the editor one time. Remember, make sure to give your while condition a way to become false or it'll loop forever. Instructions. Write a do/while loop inside the function we've created for you. Get to the oh, funny. Get to the chopper. Beautiful, beautiful. The function should log a string of your choice to the console. Do it now. Okay, that was really the key bit right here. The function should log a string of your choice to the console. So I'm really just shoving in a string. That's really all I gotta do. Do the thing to do at least once while some condition. Fantastic. And tab another. Oh, we need console log, console. Oh, wait, hold on. Do we need console log? Pretty sure we need console log. I'm already drawing a blank from section 9, which we were just on. Variable, get to the chopper, function. Write your own do/while loop here. Oh, I get to do all the fun work. I need to cram in a do and a while and other things. I need to totally get my life together, and we're concatenating things. Okay, here we go. That could have been brutal. Do. We've got this. Were they typing their stuff on the same line? I don't think they were. I think they dropped down a line. They had noise here, and then the closing brackets there. I have the feeling that because it's still a while loop, that we don't need the semicolon, or the semicolon there. So we're going to leave that off. Moving over. Time to get stringy. Should be console log, and then the whole concatenated adventure. Now, that means I should probably make a variable as well. Although, do I need to put in a variable? Write a do/while loop inside the function we've created for you. Get to the chopper. The function should log a string of your choice. The console log. Do it now. I think this is one of the things where they've provided the variable and all that other stuff. So I don't need to worry about identifying a condition. I just need to drop in this. So copy console log. Strings with space at the end plus get to the chopper plus exclamation. We're going to follow in the same footsteps that they showed us in the example. And while get to the chopper semicolon. Eesh. That does not feel pretty, guys. What's happening? Do curly braces. Cool. While condition. You will always need a condition for for loops, or the loop does not know where to end. See, so should I... So get to the chopper false. Var. See, like I think they've already established this because they've set it up. That's a very Codecademy thing they've done. Is they do additional crap in the background floating above, and then they just leave you confused. We're gonna see how it goes without that. We're gonna comment that bit out. Everything else seems relatively. I mean, we do need to another Arnold reference. It's not Uma. There we go. Although for Arnold, it's probably more of a couple U's and A's. Get to the chopper is a variable that references the function. Using it inside the function would either be an error or invoke the function, thus creating recursion. Bad? Good? So... Are we talking about my commented out thing? Do I leave that? I'm gonna... Don't mind me, even if this blows up in my face. Hold on. Select all. Copy. We might lose the city again. Problem with your syntax. Unexpected token. Cool. Cool. Not certain where. I'm gonna take a look back. Oh, do I need to take a look back? Wow, blankety blank. Do the stuff. Yeah, we're gonna look at 9. If it loads. Variable? Okay, variable loop condition equals false. So that's the chopper. So we don't want to use get to the chopper because that was the function name, not the variable name. So get to the chopper is the function, not the variable. So I need to come up with a loop condition or a variable of sorts aside from the chopper. It will be tumor. Tumor is false. Line 6 has the exclamation. Since there's only 5 lines here, or... oh, line 6, it's a string. God damn it, that's 2 quotes, which is 2 fingers. I'm down to like 3 fingers after all of this. This is brutal. This is just awful. Okay, so we're gonna have variable tumor. So the function is get to the chopper, but the variable is tumor is false because it's not a tumor. Wow. Tumor. All right. That should be truly special. It's not a tumor. False. Perfect. Green check mark and everything. Arnold would be proud. Slightly offended. Slightly proud. Right? Right. And that's what we're shooting for. Review. and then dragons. Review. Awesome work. You've now learned about all the loops there are. For, while, and do. Feels painful, not gonna lie. Instructions to finish up and prove your loop mastery. Damn it! Write these 3 syntactically correct loops in the editor. 1 for, 1 while, and 1 do. Beware of infinite loops. Son of a bitch! Hinting. Yeah, fuck that noise. Okay, write your code below. We'll do it in order. 4. Console.log. Oh, there's a stray comma or a colon or something. Okay, 4 blankety blank. Copy, which is going to be while. And something's going to end up being false. And I know that'll be a lowercase false. Then we have our O and a variable. Variable woo equals something great, and we'll polish this nightmare up relatively soon. Do while condition blank, and this will be console.log something about quotes and an extra space plus the variable and a string again. We'll actually keep the question mark. Like, that will be a question, whatever we put in. Okay. Oh, my nose is just, we're falling apart. Do we want to blow our nose now? I don't. No. Blowing your nose is for winners, damn it. We don't deserve to blow our nose until we get this right. Fight through the pain. 4 something. We are doing variable I equals. We're gonna do our favorite 1. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a go-to. You know what? We'll start at 2. We'll add a little more flavor to this. I is less than or equal to, a little bit of color, 222. There. Happy? And semicolon I, oh god, lowercase, plus equals, toughy, 22. That's gonna be hella confusing. Alright, console log. Got enough 2s? There we go. If we can get the letters. Beautiful. We'll capitalize it. You know, we're not savages. We can do that. Got enough 2s. Fantastic. Variables. What are we doing? It's going to be true. Or tur. Whatever. Whatevs. It's up to you. True. Something's going to be true. While blank is true, something. Variable J. Damn. Is it wrong to call it loop? I bet loop actually does or means something. It doesn't mean anything. Fascinating. Or I figured it would have changed color. Cat. We're going to do cat. Cat's always a great variable. Variable. Cat equals true. While cat equals console log meow. Typical. Cat equals false. Cat equals false. Lowercase false. As a matter of fact, do something. Was there a variable associated with do? There was a variable associated with do. Should I use the same variable cat for the first while loop, or I feel like it should count. Maybe we should have it increasing? Damn. Okay. We'll increase it. We'll do something variable blank equals something increasing. That sounds like a lot of work. I'd rather focus on the dragons. We're going to invest all of our mental effort into the dragons. So we're going to just spend enough time to land this sucker, right? Okay, so dog. That's very close to do. I feel like I'm going to get confused with that variable dog equals false. It doesn't have to be false, but it is going to be false in this case, which leaves us writing woof with no space in this instance. Dog. This is going to be great. Question mark. While dog. Dog do. Exactly. I think, relatively, in the scheme of life and coding itself, worse things have happened. So I'm going to pull the trigger. I'll copy all of this. That way we don't have to start from scratch, although they've got most everything in their hint section. But let's see what happens when I pull the trigger. Boom! Ha! And it spits out got enough twos every single time. That's very interesting. Introduction to while loops in JavaScript. Close. I'm going to change that to I. Console log. I. My bad. Close. Why'd I put a 1? That's weird. I didn't mean to put a 1, I meant to put an I. That didn't solve anybody's problems, and I did it again. You know what was tripping me up? The exclamation mark upside down. Yeah, that. I was looking at my keyboard, kept slapping the 1 key. Death. From the top, let's find out what numbers come up when you count from 2 by 22 to 222. Beautiful. Introduction to while loops in JavaScript. Achieved. Fantastic. Close that. 2 to 24, 46, 68, 90, 112, 134, 56, 178, 202, 22. Meow. Woof. False. Oh. Good. I'm glad. It's those should be dog treats. Non-organic dog treats. They just own it. They're like waffles, but they're fake waffles. So they're waffles. This is good. We're really digging into the shitty jokes now. Love it. Next. Dragon Slayer. Let us use our knowledge of while loops to defeat a dragon. Do we want to do Dragon Slayer now? I kind of want to do Dragon Slayer now. Although I should probably be leaving soon. Let's see if it's more than 10. Oh, thank God, it's only 6. We're slaying this thing. Dragons beware. We're just going to hit the ground running. What you'll be building. Now that you know how to use while loops, we'll combine them with some other control flow statements like if-else to create a dragon slaying minigame. In this game, you'll battle a dragon. It will take 4 hits to slay the dragon. If you miss even 1 hit, the dragon will defeat you. Instructions. Check out the code in the editor. Do you understand how it works? No worries if not, we'll go through it step by step or run it a few times to see how you fare against the dragon. We've got variable slaying true. A bit of new math magic to calculate the odds of hitting a dragon. We'll cover this soon. Variable, you hit, math.floor, math.random, empty parentheses, times 2. We saw that at the beginning of one of the other sections. Sent over. Oh my god. Non-organic dog treats. Just a piece. I'm laughing because I'm thinking of our little cat. Non-organic dog treats. Just a piece of plastic. So whenever there's like wrappers for anything, our little cat, the terrible abomination that she is, she always tries to eat plastic. Just God forbid, if you're opening a package, the little pieces of plastic that like fly away that you're just clawing at, she goes for those. She is born to find those and she just hunts them down, and then it's kind of a tug of war as you hear this. Or you just hear chewing on plastic in a dark corner somewhere. It's like a little meth fiend, but for kittens that love plastic. It's never ending. Anyways, back to dragons. Nothing like a good... Oh god, we're totally losing it. Nothing like a good kitty meth tangent during coding. The ship's sinking exceedingly quickly. Back to dragons. Understanding the math. Variable damage this round. Same noise, math.floor, math random, empty parentheses, times 5 plus 1. Variable total damage equals 0. While slaying, okay, so while slaying, if you hit console log, you hit the dragon and did blank damage this round. Then it does some math. Total damage adds to the total of damage this round. If total damage is less than or equal to 4, console log, you did it. You slew the dragon. I guess it wouldn't it be slayed? Slew? Questionable. Slaying equals false. Else you hit math.floor times 2. Else again, console log, the dragon burniates you? Is that an actual word? Burniates you, your toes. Burnates? Maybe they're being playful. Either way, I'm confused. Burniate. Urban Dictionary. Typical. Undergo or cause to undergo combustions by specific species dragon. Wing-a-ling. Wow. Good God. Okay. Let's close that. Reminder for ridiculousness. I need to drop that stupid auto mod from 3 down to 4. Because I'm pretty sure there's random comments, as I've heard, that get filtered out. Not that we need to let in all the noise, but I'm pretty sure AutoMod's kind of a bit of a prude, to be completely honest. So, what are we doing? We're continuing save and Bernie hates you, slang equals false. Beautiful. Fire away. Go time. You hit the dragon, did 3 damage. The dragon Bernie hates you. You're toast. False. Close. They said played a couple times. Did the same thing. Close. Save and submit. You hit the dragon and did 5 damage. You did it. You slew the dragon. Okay, we won. What? Most of my most? Like, in the literal sense, most of my comments are filtered out? Hold the phone. We're gonna kill him now. Stupid AutoMod. Typical. What are we doing? I don't even know what to do. I'm opening and closing windows just out of pure frustration. Damn. Because I don't even know where, like, the AutoMod comments end up. I don't see them on my side. There's nowhere for me. I figured out that I would have seen everything, but maybe it's because I'm still viewing chat on my phone, but I'm signed in as me. I don't know. Weird. New window. Oh, Jesus. Hopefully this doesn't destroy the stream. It's gonna probably load me. Do. That's okay. That is all right. Sure, 90% of the stuff I say wouldn't even pass through the through AutoMod. Setting? No. Maybe official setting. That was dashboard settings. We're looking at official settings. Prime channel and videos. Security. Channel and videos. Chat options. If it scrolls down. Good. Your AutoMod setting. No mod. Mod 1, 2, 3, 4. And no, we were on 2, so off versus 1. Some filtering. It was 2. Profanity. Aggressive language, sexually explicit, identity. Really just non-race religion stuff. Explicit is fine, aggressive is fine, profanity works. That works. Good times. Okay, so now we gotta save that though. Save changes. And then we jump to this. And then we jump back to once it loads. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. AutoMod level 1. Perfect. It saved it. Fantastic. Thank God. Okay. Like, I was expecting to see like a queue of the filtered stuff as well, but I haven't seen a single filtered. There's just a mod abyss that is floating out there in the world of comments that I've just never gotten to see ever. But that's okay. That is all right. Onwards. Back to business. 1 of 6 down. Didn't have to do anything. My kind of lesson. All right. We're off. Declare your variables. All right. Let's start by declaring the variables we'll be using. We'll need a variable to check if we're still slaying, variable to check if we hit the dragon, a variable to keep track of how much damage we've dealt the dragon this round, a variable to keep track of total damage. Instructions: declare and set the following variables. Slaying equals true. You hit to math.floor, math random times 2, set. This sets you hit to random number that's either 0, JavaScript reads false, or 1, JavaScript reads as true. Damage this round, math.floor, math. This sets damage this round to a random number that's between 1 and 5, up to including 5. Total damage is 0, stuck, get a hint. More details for how math.5 works and blah, 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 blah. Fan-friggin-tastic. So, they were kind enough to basically spell out exactly what we need to do. Variable. Slaying. Go time. True. You hit. Equals. Variable. Declare and set the following variables. You hit. Are there 4 of them? Variable. You hit equals math.nonsense. Okay. And damage this round. Math.blah. Cool. And lastly, total damage is 0. Total damage Z. Beautiful. So, you hit to math.floor random times 2. This sets you hit to a random number that's either 0, which JavaScript reads as false, or 1, which JavaScript reads as true. Okay, so you either do or don't hit. That's how JavaScript figures it out at random for those 2 values. Good. 3. Damage this round. Math.floor, math.random, times 5 plus 1. This number sets damage this round to a random number that's between 1 and 5, up to and including 5. All right. So that's it. Beautiful green shot. The while loop. Awesome. Now let's add in our while loop. We want to run the whole game as long as we're trying to kill the dragon. That's it. While slaying is true. When checking variables like slaying that are set to true, you don't need to write something like while slaying equals true. You just write while slaying. It also helps to give your variables names that make the code look more regular. To make the code look more like regular English. Damn, speaking is difficult. It also helps to give your variables names that make the code look more like regular English while slaying. Do this. It's easy to remember because it's so close to everyday speech. Instructions. Let me open hint, move that up a little. Create a while loop that only executes when slang is true. For this exercise, set slang to false. In the body of the loop, we want to make sure the loop can exit. No infinite loops for us. Code something like this. Variable slang is true, which we have, while slang equals false. While slang Nope, no semicolon. Nope, no Inspector Gadget either. Focus. Singing to a minimum until this dragon's dead. How's that? Nice. Okay. The first if statement. Is that all we really? Yeah, that was all we need to do. Nice. 4 of 6. Good God, we're very close, and they had way more code. You know what? They had a lot of comments in theirs as well. Their the finished project on the first page. The first if statement. Great. Now we want to add a couple of branches to our program so it can handle different outcomes. You know what this means? If and else. Instructions. Inside your while loop, create an if-else statement that checks the value of you hit. If it is 1, true, it should log a congratulatory message to the console saying you hit the dragon. If it's 0, false, you should get a log message. You should log a message to the console saying that the dragon defeated you. Either way, slang should be set to false, since either you beat the dragon and the slang's over, or the dragon beats you. Okay, slang equals false. We just dive into it. If condition blah. No. If condition blank, else. Blah. And then, console log stuff in there. Probably. We'll gain in. Yep, console log stuff in there, just as I thought. Console.log. Cool. Oh, interesting. So they have slang is false at the end. Fascinating. But that definitely makes more sense. And then, of course, you hit. Okay, so, and is that just... Oh, we need to say... What did they want in the console log? Death by dragon? Usually they have the statements in there. Quotes? I know it doesn't matter, but... Inside the while loop, create an if else true. Congratulatory message. You hit the dragon. Yay. Perfect. Just like that. Copy. You hit the dragon. Don't forget the quotes. Damn it. Don't forget the quotes. Should log a message to the console saying that you... false. It should log a message to the console saying that the dragon defeated you. Copy. The dragon defeated you. Stay dead. There you go. That's not vicious. I think that's it. I'm just gonna pull the trigger and hope for the best. Ta-da! Green check mark. You hit dragon. Holy crap! It's starting to work. Next letter. The second if statement. Good work. We're almost there. In the first branch of our if statement, right after the console log. Whoa. Hold the phone. In the first branch of our if statement, right after the console log. Okay, so after this bit, right after the console log where we congratulate the player for hitting the dragon, let's set total damage equal to total damage plus damage this round. This is a shortcut for this plus equals operator. When you type total damage plus equals damage this round, semicolon, you're telling JavaScript to add total damage and damage this round together, then assign that new value to total damage. Instructions. Go ahead, set total damage to total damage plus this round. Let's copy you. Should I have it in parentheses? Probably not. I don't think it matters. Okay. Go ahead, set total damage equal to total damage plus this round. Then inside your first if statement, create a second if statement that checks to see if total damage is greater than or equal to 4. If so, it should log to the console that the player slew the dragon and set slaying equal to false. Since the dragon's dead, the slaying is over. If the total damage isn't greater than or equal to 4, you hit should be assigned to a new random 1 or 0. That is as easy as setting you hit to the same expression you used when you first declared it. Crack open hint. Code should now look something like this. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. We'll look at that in a bit. Kind of intimidating. Instructions. Go ahead. We are so close. 5 of 6. Oh, damn. Instructions. Go ahead, set the damage this. Then, inside your first if statement, create a second if statement. More iffy squared, to check to see if total damage greater than 4. Total damage, copy. Greater than or equal to or just greater than? Probably greater than 4. Greater than or equal to. Okay, they've got greater than or equal to. Greater than or equal to. Are we doing an else after? What did they say? Greater than or equal to 4. If so, it should log to the console that the player slew the dragon and set slaying equal to false. So, console log and then slaying equal to false after. Although there will be a closing thing at some point, somewhere in this. Actually, there might be an else statement. Probably, we'll figure it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so console log something greater than. Player slew the dragon. I guess we can say this. Do they have the same thing? You win, you lose. You hit. Oh, you hit the dragon. The dragon defeated you, so you slew the dragon. That is a separate reward all into itself. Its own message. Damn. Copy. You slew the dragon. 2 exclamations for that. Huge celebration. Okay. If so, that slaying. Okay. Damage greater than 4. Slaying set the false. Dragon is dead. If total damage is greater than 4, so this is else, you hit should be assigned a new random 1 or 0. So you hit, run the random math again. So else, you hit this is as easy as setting you hit the same expression you use when you first declared it. So yeah, just throwing that in. Else blankety blank. Oh yeah, and it's the same blah. So is that really it? Did we just make a dragon fighting game? I think at this point I pull the trigger. The dragon defeated you. Stay dead. Wow, that really cuts deep. Eesh. I don't know if I needed that last bit. Close. Once more. You hit the dragon, you slew the dragon. Holy crap. We have a dragon fighting game. Next lesson. Well done, you did it. You've written your own dragon slaying game. Feel free to look back at the first exercise for ideas on how you can customize your console log messages to the player. You can also invent your own. Also try changing the values of some of the variables to see how it affects the player's odds of winning. Instructions. When you're ready, click Save and Submit Code to finish this project and explore more JavaScript topics. Way cool. Save and submit. The dragon defeated you. Stay dead. Dragon Slayer. Achieved. Gopher. Awesome job, man. Thanks. How cool was that? That wasn't as painful as other projects. I don't know if I'm getting more comfortable with coding or if the lessons are easier or if the lessons only seem easier because I'm coding, so I can't tell what's happening. I mean, I feel like their instructions haven't gotten any less confused. Maybe they have. I don't know. I can't tell if I'm improving or if Codecademy is getting easier, but I don't know. Who knows? But this worked. This worked. I'm gonna try it once more. Statement. Damn dead. I want to win again. You hit the dragon. You slew the dragon. Good enough. Dragon Slayer. Ending on a high note. Next, you're improving for sure. Awesome. Good to know. Good to know. So that's going to conclude day 77. We'll see what they have to say about this. Up next, more on control flow in JavaScript. When we tell a program what order to do things in, we're using something called control flow. You already know about if statements, but in this course, we'll expand our knowledge. Start lesson. We'll read the first bit. If, else. You've learned about if and else and how they control what your program does. Here's a quick refresher on the syntax. If, else, blah. Actually, we didn't want looking at a hint. We wanted to see how many sections they have. 14. So that's going to be for tomorrow. What will we be covering tomorrow? If, else, nonsense, practice with switching stuff, overviews, and or not. Seems like a lot of a repeat. Fascinating. Well, let's back out. See where we stand. Day 77. Hey, we're 50% of the way through now. Cool. All right. Day 77. We are 50% of the way through JavaScript as we conclude our day. 922 points down, which are essentially just all the activities we've been doing. It's like how there were 6 activities, so the last 6 of the 922 were from the Dragon Slaying activity, and 126 badges. 10-day streak. I need to reach out to them and figure out. I know there's the UTC timing, and you have to. I think it's just completing a single activity of a lesson. So, like how there were 6, I think if you just were to complete one of the 5, maybe it's getting a badge, maybe it's completing a whole lesson, but it is something, and it's within the 24-hour window within the calendar day for UTC. But probably when I hit 100, I might shoot him an email just to see, because it's logged on Twitch. On YouTube, when I upload them, some days, since I start so late at like 11:45 when I post it, I'll have 2 postings for a day on YouTube, but Twitch has every single day from the 1st. Again, because of that damn UTC time. It says I joined the 1st, but not here Pacific time. We signed up January 1st. Anyways, I digress. This is good. We've made lots of progress. Topher, look back on your first few days now. Yeah, I'll need to go back and rewatch some of the early stuff. I know the very first video, I didn't have audio. The second video, I had the webcam. I feel like there was a change for the third video, but I can't figure out what it was. But yeah, good times. We are backing out of this. Closing down the stream. Topher, thanks again for hanging out. Anyone else who may have stopped by, even if they didn't chat. Donka, greatly appreciate it. And we are closing out of OBS. Stopping the stream. Are you sure you want to stop the stream? Hell yeah. Kill it.